DeFurio?
DeFurio. Why does that sound familiar? No, I don't. Chris DeFurio.
I think he manages one of them. Or...
Okay. So I've been gone for about a year now. Little less than a year. A little less than a year. And, so I worked there, and I used to do the podcast there in, like, the main office upstairs before I got this space.
Oh, okay.
And I only got this space because I wanted to have recess. So on the card, we have, like, Kubal, Peaks, Recess, Simple Roast.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it. But I wanted to have the guys from Recess on the podcast,
right.
and I knew I couldn't have them on in the Kubal office. Not that anybody out, like,
right,
nobody listening would know.
Right.
But I just knew that, like, if Matt saw, the guys from Recess in his office,
There'd be a conversation to be had.
Yeah, exactly. So I got the Delavan Center, and
that's great, man.
The first couple months, it looked like an asylum because it was literally all I had was like this table in the center of the room with 2 microphones and a camera and nothing else anywhere.
Well,
and that was the backdrop, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Usherwood. I worked for Usherwood when I moved back from Rochester.
Okay.
I worked for Usherwood for a solid 3 months, and they canned me.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
They gave me, like, the territory of Sherburne. Mm-hmm. You know where Sherburne is? Yeah, in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing there. There's like one mom and pop business there, and they're like, sell a bunch of copiers down there. It's going to be great. I'm like,
funny.
nah, I can't do that.
Yeah. I used to work for Metro Mattress, and I got a promotion, they called it, to the regional manager out in Buffalo. Mm-hmm. And my area was Niagara Falls down to Olean. Have you ever been to Olean before?
Yes,
Olean is the worst.
It is.
I used to live in Chillicothe, Ohio at one point in my life. And
that's how you pronounce it? I've seen the spelling. It's it ends with a THE, right?
Yeah. Chillicothe.
Chillicothe.
It's maybe the most racist town in America. And that encompasses all people who aren't from Chillicothe, by the way. So it constantly smells like someone pooped broccoli because there's a paper mill.
Ugh.
There's a mead paper plant in the town.
Right.
And if you've ever been around a paper plant, it just smells like pooped broccoli all the time.
It's perfect. Get one of these in Goose.
It has the most buffets, like per capita, of any other town in America.
Wow.
Sounds like a fine place.
Every other restaurant is like a Cece's Pizza or a Golden Corral or an Old Country Buffet. Like it's the worst place.
Yeah.
And Olean is Olean's not that bad, but there's nothing in Olean.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and it's like 4 hours away.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. Well, introduce yourselves, everybody.
My name is Joel. I'm a partial owner of 317 at Montgomery.
My name is Darius Blue, executive chef.
And I'm Natalie, the other partial owner of 317 at Montgomery.
Nice. Is your last name Blue?
Yep.
That is the fucking best name.
Awesome.
Darius Blue. Of course you're a chef. I mean, it should be that or like a musician, right?
Yeah,
like those are the two things that you.
I wanted to be a musician first.
Did you?
Yeah.
He cooks with a bass guitar.
That's amazing.
The drumsticks. That's right.
Yeah, that is the best name I've ever You're like of anyone I've ever met in my life. That you have the best name of anybody I've ever met before.
Well, that's awesome.
Darius fucking Blue. Jesus Christ.
I'm partial to Joel Carpenter, but
That is
that's
his middle name, too.
That's awesome, man. All right, so how long have you guys had the restaurant? I know we were telling a little bit before.
Yeah.
So Natalie, you were there before with the previous owner.
I worked there for 4 years under the previous owner, and it became ours on the 1st of January this year.
Wow, great timing.
yeah. Yeah. And then the kick in the stomach of COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the stomach is where we got kicked.
Yeah.
So how does that work? I mean, when was the previous owner wanting to sell? How did you guys come to buy it?
Well, he had moved to Arizona. He still has businesses in New York, but he had moved. And one night I was working, and there was an issue. So I messaged him, and he's like, oh, you want to buy the place? And I said, wow, yeah, you're that sick of our shit already? That's pretty much how it went. And he said, no, I'm serious. And I said, name your price. So, Joel and I talked about it, and we're like, yeah, all right, it's something we'll kind of get the ball rolling, see what we need to do and everything. And, yeah. That was in about July last summer.
Yep.
Then one night, Joel made a phone call in November and said the restaurant is ours January 1st.
Wow.
So it was pretty, streamlined.
Yeah.
So you were running the restaurant before, obviously, all of that. How long had you been there?
About 4 years.
Okay. And you were in the restaurant industry for years?
No, not at all. I still work for a company called Spin Car.
Yeah.
I'm a sales manager there. I've been in sales my whole life. Literally the only time I worked in a restaurant up until purchasing 317, I washed dishes.
Okay.
When I was 16.
Nice.
That was about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I rely on her for all the kind of.
Well, he's got a really
stuff.
good mind for food and for flavors, and so he gets that very well. So when everything started happening, we stuck him in the kitchen.
Yeah, that didn't
and
work
I
out
was
too
out
great.
on the floor, and it's a very different beast working in a restaurant kitchen than kind of doing your own thing at home.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
We learned quickly that his pretty face should be out in front of people.
I was just talking to somebody who was saying they have, they just have they're not really like a restaurant. It's like a farm that has like all their attractions, and they have a cafe where they do like breakfast and lunch. And this cook that they hired, she was just telling me they had like 4 orders and coming at once, but he was making one set of eggs at a time. On like this massive 36-inch griddle.
Yeah.
He was only doing one set of eggs at a time. So, yeah, it's definitely a lot different than
Well, that's
being
why
at
we
home.
have Darius.
Yeah.
I was literally in the back, and it was one night we had a really busy shift, and everything went fine, and anybody who knows the restaurant industry, and I'm just learning, right?
Yeah.
But anybody who knows the restaurant industry, it's way different back in the kitchen than
For sure.
It's wild back there.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be as efficient as possible, and I just figured out I was in the way.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think we should do this, or I'll do that, and blah, 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 and I'm bumping into her, and I'm, over there helping Darius, and then he's like, well, just get out of the way and I'll do this, and I'm like, oh, all right, I'm just going to go out here and talk to people. I don't know, that sounds good to me.
It
sounds way better.
Yeah.
It was really funny because Darius and I, when it slowed down, we both kind of looked at each other and Joel can't be in the kitchen. And then probably, 10 minutes after that, Joel came over and he's like, I don't think I should be in the kitchen. And I just gave him a hug because I didn't want to tell him, but
Didn't want to hurt my feelings.
That's funny. Did you take it hard?
He's like, that's
No.
not
Yeah, so you were ready for it?
I was ready, man. I'm a firm believer in finding your lane and staying in it.
Get me back to doing the social media. Yeah. It's a tough fucking business, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have to tell you guys that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never been in it in something like this, but it's a tough business and a good day.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. Well, I mean, that there's all kinds of stats out there that over 50% of every restaurant that's started fails.
Yeah, for sure.
Within the first couple of years.
I wonder, I mean, do you feel that that's going to be different for you because you've purchased like an established restaurant?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, and we're just trying to build on it, right? So there was already a set clientele.
Yeah.
But we thought when kind of the idea was being kicked around of purchasing the business, of just ways we could make it better and ways we could get more people in, right? Because we are, it's Salina, Warren, and then Montgomery.
Yeah.
And the 3.5 years that Natalie was running it, there wasn't a ton of foot traffic. There's the Y right next door.
Right.
But there wasn't much else going on. But now, like when we started to talk about it, all the development downtown, started happening, and all these new apartments were going up, and like right across the street from us, the common space, was being built, and now there's people
that's
over
right,
there.
that's over there, yeah.
And we were talking, there's other things going on over there, like with the church, and they have a space that they're going to be working on, and,
cool.
and there's a lot more traffic in that area than there ever has been. So if COVID wasn't here, we think that obviously things would have been a lot better, but one of the main reasons why we think that we're still, kind of kicking, right, is because we do have a lot more walk-through traffic. We do have a lot of people walking around like, oh, I've seen this place, and you wouldn't believe how many people just walk in and say, hey, listen, or they set a reservation, and I go out and talk with them, and they're like, well, I've walked by this place like 5, 6 times on my way somewhere else, and always wanted to stop in, and they're glad they did.
Yeah. Oddly enough, it's funny. Like when I was at Metro Mattress, the vice president of the company used to go all the time.
Really?
Yeah, this is like 3 years ago. Steve Giordano, great guy, but he used to go there all the freaking time. Now he also used to go to like Texas Day, Brazil all the time. So I did question his. I was like, "Are you sure?" Like, he was like, "It's the best place."
Hey,
like,
listen,
and I'm not knocking
I'm not knocking it either because I love to go there and get the meat sweats, man. I'm good with it.
See, I hate going there.
Really?
I absolutely hate going. I'm going to sound like a pompous prick for 1 second. And that is, I've been to Brazil before. So
this isn't really Brazilian.
Right? So like when you go to Brazil and like you go to like a Brazilian steakhouse, they're not nice. It's like going to a Mexican restaurant in Texas. You know what I mean? It's like
it's a hole.
Right.
Yep.
And then they're literally just in the back over like a fire, like grilling everything.
Yeah.
For dessert in Brazil, for some reason, all these Brazilian steakhouses, it's like Nestle ice cream, but it's out of like the gas station like freezer things,
That's good.
So they literally just walk over and open it up, and
you pay 50 cents at the gas station, and they charge you $5 at the restaurant. That's good.
Well, in Brazil, you would sit down and eat an entire thing for like $8.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and you would get like this amazing experience. And I was there twice when I was like in high school.
Oh, okay.
And each time we would go there, like at least once on that trip. But like in Brazil, you had like chicken hearts was like one of the things that they would bring by, and
I've had them.
Like weird
fried,
shit.
Though.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but also having said that, it's the same reason why I don't like to go to a buffet. If you haven't noticed, I'm a little bit of a bigger guy, and there's just like an association. And I don't want to be a part of that association. I don't want to like walk in, with the trumpet playing or the tuba playing behind me to Texas Day, Brazil, and sit there
like line it up.
Right.
Hell, I'm taking all of it.
Right. Exactly. I'm not going to do that. That's not going to be me.
I'll do it for you.
Yeah. Thank you.
No, I got you. Got you back.
Yeah. All right. So we were saying, Derek, you used to be a barber.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
For 14 years.
Yeah. And then now you're the chef at this restaurant.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Basically, I was just looking for another job to supplement my income.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Joel and Allie one day.
Well, you guys all, I mean, not to interrupt, but you guys all knew each other, you were saying, before we started.
Yeah.
Back in high school?
And that's one of the crazy things about it is that, and we didn't even realize it happened so organically. We took over January 1st, and was it Dining Weeks? It was Dining Weeks. And we were slammed.
Yeah.
And it was a good shift.
Did you start with them from day one?
No, he started.
No, I'm just talking about when we
January 18th or
realized
so.
kind of,
What was it?
kind of,
when
what
About the
we
had-
18th of
realized it was
January?
Everybody from our hometown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we got done with a great shift, and I looked over, and like everybody we were all high-fiving. And
I think
it was
you
great.
were the first one to
And I
notice
looked
it.
over, and I was like, Jesus Christ, we all went to OCS. Like everybody, we all went to school together,
Yeah.
which was wild. Like, and I didn't, like, we never even equated anything with it. We were just,
Yeah.
hey, you want to,
Yeah.
want to come work? We knew some good people, and
That's
that
cool.
could help out.
Well,
And
Because also our general manager
Right.
is one of my lifelong friends.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
Mine
Went
as
to
well.
school,
Yeah, okay.
Derek's is as well. Went to school, we all,
Yeah,
partied in
we
the
all-
woods together.
yeah, we all literally we grew up in Nedrow.
Every one of us.
Probably 2-3 blocks away from each
Wow.
other. You
That's
know what I
wild.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cool story.
And like I said,
Yeah.
it wasn't something that we really thought about. It just I don't
Just
know,
happened.
the stars kind of aligned with everything where we just
Yeah. That's pretty cool when that happens and it's not like pushed,
Forced.
you know.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You
No,
know.
you don't want to. And that's what I was thinking about because I was talking with one of our regulars and excuse me, and I was telling him kind of the story of who we are and what we do, and he was like, "So you and your friends just all got together and bought a restaurant?" And I was like, "No, that's not what happened at all. Not one bit. Like this is honestly by accident. I don't know, by accident, but it turned out to be, kind of a blessing in
Yeah,
disguise.
it seems to be working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we as with any restaurant, there's there's ups and downs. It's a
Yeah, for sure.
stressful thing, and especially now.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's uncertain. Like you said, I worked there for 4 years previously, so
Yeah.
I understood the sales trends and where things were going to go. And there's just
Right.
no way to know anything right
Yeah.
now. You're just
Yeah.
kind of living
Right.
day by day.
Yeah.
But doing it with friends, makes it easier.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because we all love each other, and I think it shows in our product.
Yeah. What are the trends for downtown? Because I've been thinking about this lately. Like, obviously, SU kids are back in town, which that plays a huge, huge role in business.
Right.
Right? I mean, I don't know if a lot of people, obviously people like in downtown kind of get that, but it's not really stated too much how much of an effect SU has on the local economy.
Yeah.
Huge.
Well, and Natalie,
SU
can get
runs the
into
town.
this.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, if SU wasn't here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What would be?
Right. You
Yeah.
know. But I mean, we have a great relationship with SU, and Natalie can chime in on this.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
those were graduation weekend, parents' weekend. Those
Yeah.
were always leading up until our
Yeah.
purchase. Were always
The biggest.
basically our
Yeah.
Super Bowls, other than like
Right.
Valentine's Day and
Yeah.
and dining weeks, right? And then the pandemic hit.
Right.
Yeah,
and
we
those
lost.
went in the toilet, and we lost.
Losing
Right.
graduation weekend was
Yeah, that sucks.
huge.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
at that point, if you're thinking of kind of like numbers, it was like 4 months worth of
Yeah.
what we normally do.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
to lose that is
Right.
it's crazy.
And losing parents' weekend.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But we did see as the students started coming back, we would get some parents in, so
That's cool.
it's definitely still helping.
Yeah.
And like we said, with the commons going up, now we're kind of getting a younger crowd.
That's cool.
When I was working there, before we bought it, it was kind of the older show Symphoria, which lovely, we
Right.
love it. But
Yeah.
but now we're starting to see we're getting a much younger clientele,
Yeah.
which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
Yeah, it's different. I mean, it's a different dynamic because, again, you walk in and we love to serve everybody.
Yeah.
But I think with the kind of emphasis on building more housing downtown for people, that's why we're seeing more of that, kind of younger
Yeah,
influx
for sure.
of people. And when we first opened up for, just takeout on that, we switched our whole menu around to takeout type food.
Yeah.
Like when you come, it's a sit down meal.
Yeah,
right.
right.
You order Grubhub and you order filet and you want it medium rare.
Yeah.
You're not going to get it medium rare.
Right.
Right. That's
Yeah.
tough.
yes, you are.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll just sear it real quick and throw it out. We'll try our best.
Yeah. Listen,
Look for 317 on Grubhub.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm glad you guys are on there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But Grubhub fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
I
believe me.
Are we
Yeah.
allowed to say that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
of
because they're
course you
not
can.
local.
Listen, I did.
Yeah, they take so much
Yeah.
of your money.
Like a year and a half ago or so, I wanted to do it, and just because I knew how much they took, and so I did interviews with like Limp Lizard, Glazed and Confused, PB&J Lunchbox, and the Brianwell Eatery, just to talk about like what their experience was.
Yep.
And all of them are paying 30%.
30%.
Yeah,
man.
which is
Off
if,
the top.
if it's if you're running your restaurant well, that's your food cost.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
So add that together, that's 60% of whatever
Yeah.
you're sending out. And we were trying to, honestly, keep our doors open.
Right.
You know, we were just getting back into it, and we went in with what we thought were fair prices.
Yeah.
Right. And found out very quickly that we weren't making a ton, you know. I mean, we were breaking even at best, you know, and it was like we would get a bunch of orders and we'd make like $50 in a day.
Yeah.
You know, like that's crazy.
They cut your check yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, they finally cut us a check.
Yeah,
it was like
it takes
3
forever.
months later we got a check from Grubhub. That was
But
Yeah.
not even
nice.
to mention all the fees that the customer has to pay.
Right.
Yeah.
Like they have like the service charge fee, which is like $4 or $5, but then they also add the tip
Yeah.
and they use the delivery charge
Right.
as part of the total bill, which I mean that's a delivery charge. You shouldn't.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what the
Yeah.
delivery charge is. You shouldn't have to tip on the delivery charge.
Right.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
It's just like I feel
It's a
like
racket.
it's
You know.
breaking
Without
the
a doubt.
customer too.
Right.
you
It's
know,
a
but
huge-
It's a necessary evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. They have everybody by the balls.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, well, I'm sitting on my couch. I don't want to go anywhere.
Right.
What am I going to do?
And in our area, there's, we have Grubhub, DoorDash, and Uber Eats, right?
Yep.
And Grubhub by far has the market. I don't think there is Postmates and stuff, but they're not really, nobody really does anything with them. I'll use DoorDash just because I have like the Dash Pass. So like the 1 or 2 times a month that I order from a delivery service, it's with that. And I only order that from chain restaurants. That way they really get no. But
Good for you.
but it does suck, and ideally, I would love to convince restaurants that it's not necessary,
Right.
but only because it is 30%. When I had this argument with a place I used to work for, and I would be like, listen, that's more than our profit. Mm-hmm. Like, we're actually losing money every time that someone orders on
100%,
Grubhub.
yeah.
We're not making anything,
No.
and it's really challenging. During quarantine, before everything happened, somebody reached out to me. They're like, we should start a local delivery service. And I was like, that's a full-time job, dude. So we didn't look into it too much. But then during quarantine, I really looked into it. And what I built this model. I was trying to convince a couple restaurants to take it and do it. But I think it's $500 a month. The software that runs everything. Like everything's automated. You put in your driver, you put in your restaurants, you upload your menu, they build the website for you. It's like a drag and drop thing. You don't have to know shit, you know.
You don't have to be
We're good
a
at
delivery
not
connoisseur.
Right.
You're great at delivering, and that's the only way you get a job.
And their system automates everything from the orders placed to it. They automatically hit up a driver, automatically give directions. I mean, and it's only like, I think it was $600 a month for that software. And so I had built the business model, and I was like, okay. And my idea was to do a co-op, to have like restaurants jump in. All they do is split the cost. They can hire somebody full-time to run that business for them.
Yeah.
And it would cost, depending on how many join, because they would just split it. But if you had like 20 restaurants, they'd each pay like $200 a month
Right.
to have this.
So why aren't you doing that?
I don't want to.
Yeah, what the hell?
I don't want to. I actually just
are you taking notes on this, Joel?
No,
'Cause
it's
this
being
could be
recorded,
another-
actually.
Yeah, it
It's
is
gonna
being
be
recorded. It is
on
going to
the
go out to
internet.
everybody. Yeah. I reached out to a couple restaurants. I was like, "Here's the model. Do it." And they were just like, "Well, if you want to do it, but I don't want to."
Yeah.
We're actually getting ready to launch a coffee company. Those coffee bags behind you. We launch it next
I am
Monday.
in love with coffee.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Goes live.
I don't drink coffee.
Week from Monday. You don't drink coffee.
Not one drop.
You've
it's
got
the
too much
caffeine.
energy to
Yeah,
not
I do.
drink coffee.
See, look at me. I just
Yeah.
need scotch in the morning. I'm all set. You know, I'm good.
That's pretty funny. Yeah. Yeah, but the delivery companies definitely suck. So, I mean, what was it like? Like, when did you guys first get Grubhub up and running when everything kind of shut down? Was it?
I started it a long time ago before we owned it, and the prices were not what I think they took like 10%.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was something crazy. But like Joel was saying, some of our food just isn't.
It's not going to transfer.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So it didn't really end up doing anything, but we we went back to it during COVID, but we shut down for 3 months.
About 2.5 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then, and we were still collaborating. Like, we took that time to work in the lab, as we called it. And
That's our kitchen.
Yeah. And just
At
play
home.
with food. So the three of us would get together and just play with food and, do certain recipes. So when we started back up, it was still takeout only.
Yeah.
But we knew we'd have to do more sandwich style bistro kind of things, which for lunch is what we do anyway.
Right.
So it was fine.
And the whole idea behind that was we build a menu out for that kind of COVID time and see what kind of traction we got.
Yeah.
It literally said COVID menu on our
Yeah.
poster.
And then taking that after we open back up, obviously for full dinner menu, and then the next step will be opening back up for lunch.
Yeah.
And utilizing that menu
Right.
as our lunch menu. Because it's already kind of been tested.
Yeah.
Right?
What's it been like? Now post quarantine, they're still not anywhere near normal, but people are kind of not giving as much of a fuck about everything.
Yeah, it's
up and down.
It ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
It 1 week it'll be slammed.
Yeah.
And the next week, it won't be slammed.
Yeah.
We have a steady flow.
Yeah. That's
But-
what I hear from a lot of people is that there's in all of this there's no normal. There's no normal. There's no way to predict.
There's no way to gauge anything,
Yeah.
right?
No,
Because we'll
and-
literally have a night where one of our kind of signature dishes. I feel like all of our dishes are signature dishes, but people
We
take
were
the
talking
fillet.
about that last night with the pork.
Right. We'll get one night where 70% of the dishes are one.
Right.
The pork chop or the fillet or the the skirt steak, whatever it may be, and then all of a sudden we won't have another order of that for like 4 days.
Yeah.
So it's just hard to figure out what to prep.
Yeah.
And we've had that problem with wine too, because we used to offer 10 different wines by the glass.
Yeah.
Between red and white, and it just came to the point where I was dumping bottles of wine out because we're operating at 50%,
Right.
and so somebody orders one glass of this wine and nobody orders it for who knows how long. And so then you have to shorten your wine list.
Right.
Well, then you get reviews that are like, oh, it was great, their wine list is kind of small but it's workable. And it's just like, it's kind of like you can't really win situation. And
Do a lot of people come into the restaurant knowing anything about wine?
We do have some. There are some. I mean, I know several people that come in and talk about it, but
Yeah. I mean, I know it exists because St. Urban has this the most phenomenal wine list in the area. I don't know shit about wine. Actually, we've got Gary Decker, who owns Vino Mania. I just had him on. So his episode comes out Monday.
Oh, okay.
And we were talking
we
I don't.
should all go there one day.
Yeah, I don't know anything.
Right over
about
at
it.
Columbus Bakery, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right on the same road.
before, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. So if I go out to a restaurant, and I mean, we're not really getting wine very often unless I know I'm in a restaurant that knows something about wine.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of people go out to dinner and they just they don't really know shit. They
Yeah,
just
they're like, give me your bottle or your
Right.
glass of red.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We have it's a
I guess my point in saying all of that is I feel like there are restaurants who kind of I have to have this thing, but
she's
customers
more of a
don't.
wine person than I.
Are you?
I
Yeah.
don't.
Absolutely.
I'll drink that whole bottle of Cuse juice right now. It doesn't really matter to me.
We're,
You can take it to the
already
golf tournament if
depleting
you
your
want,
whiskey
yeah.
and Scotch stash here. I mean, wine's it's tough too because I don't know if you'll have to edit this out, but we want to serve.
and you say whatever the fuck you want.
We want to serve local wine as much as
Yeah.
we can. Obviously, we want to do as much local as we can. But the thing about New York wine is it's all so sweet.
Yeah.
Like even their gut. And
Yeah.
I'm not as sweet. And And I think if you're
I'm very
really a
sweet.
wine person, you're not drinking sweet
Yeah.
wines. That's not saying anything bad about people who drink sweet wines.
No, I get you.
It's just
Do you know what tugboat is? Tugboat wine? Tugboat Red, it's called. It's the shittiest wine.
Yeah,
I'm
like-
pretty sure it's a New York wine, but it's like literally drinking dessert.
But yeah, and that's like New York has the ice wine, which is like
Yeah.
sounds really cool,
Right.
But it's just like straight sugar, like
Yeah.
it's and so it's just
I grew up drinking Boone's Farm wine. Is that even wine? Really? I don't even know.
I don't even know what that is.
I think it's malt liquor.
No, that's Mad Dog 2020.
My
It's
progression.
Mad Dog
yeah.
2020 right now.
I'm trying to think what I grew up drinking.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. I was-
It's the year of Mad Dog.
yeah. When I was like maybe 12 years old, my dad, we went to this restaurant in Little Italy. My brother went to college in Nyack, and so every year for his birthday, we would drive down, pick him up, go into the city, and go to Lamella in Little Italy for dinner, which is a phenomenal restaurant.
I'll have to go there.
Yeah, it's probably not a phenomenal restaurant, but it's
But when you're growing up, it was the bee's knees.
yeah, it's like it's the type of like
Did you really just say bees?
I certainly did.
No more whiskey.
Yeah, we need some more whiskey.
I don't know. This is actually, I mean, I've never had podcast guests on at 9:30 in the morning and been drinking with them, and I have to say, I'm
Wonderful.
really,
We
I
can
have
edit
to
that
say-
part too. My mom's watching.
I'm really enjoying
Your
this.
mom doesn't know how to.
Yeah.
Scarlett's showing
Right.
right now.
And we're gonna get to your menu, Mr. Blue, but in the meantime, Lamella, it's like the restaurant you walk into where the walls are just lined with pictures of like like the cast of like The Godfather and
Yeah.
stuff like that, right?
Very Little Italy style.
Very
Right.
neat,
Yep.
And you can get family style, which is really what you should do if you go to Lamella. And I took my now wife there we went to the city in like December, almost 3 years ago, and so we went to went to Lamella for dinner, and we sat down, and of course, like all the waiters are Italian, and. We ordered. I bought like the cheapest bottle of Chianti that they had on the menu. Right? It was like $12, right, for this
Did
bottle.
the waitress look at you like, ah, shit?
No,
he's a
no.
15%er.
He came over. No, he came over and he like still poured it in the glass, and I don't know anything about anything, so I just sat there. I was like, "You can pour more, but obviously you're supposed to
for
taste it,
tasting.
right?" Yeah.
You can pour more. Yeah, just fill that right up, pal. I'm gonna need a bunch more of that.
Did you bring a straw?
Yeah, bring a straw.
But at Lamella, at the end of the night, I assume if you're like an older man and you look Italian, they bring you a shot of, I think it's Sambuca, whatever.
Yeah, Sambuca with a
Sambuca.
coffee bean.
Right. Yeah. And so when I was
Italian,
like,
if you can.
yeah, right.
You can't.
Yeah.
No, well, I knew what Sambuca with a coffee
Yeah.
bean was.
When I was 12, my dad let me taste that.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. So I
Straight
went from
licorice.
like, yeah, I know. Yeah, it's, yeah.
Do you
I don't-
hate it
yeah.
now?
I've never had it since then.
Really?
And I
Yeah.
probably never will because I
Right.
hate black licorice
Yeah,
taste.
not a big fan either.
Yeah. So that got me started. And then here I am today with you guys.
Drinking whiskey at 9 in the morning. Awesome.
Yeah. All right. So tell me about your menu.
Well, let me say this first. It's not my menu. It's our menu.
Oh, that was
Collaboration.
Yeah, it's a
We
collaboration
sit
of
down,
our own.
Alright.
we-
Yeah.
We all
Okay,
kind
but
of
you're-
bring our little
yeah.
flair
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like
makes
that.
it-
Because, we're all fairly
Yeah.
new at all of this. So.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, did you have experience like cooking in a restaurant before?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, all right.
But it had been 14 years, actually, since I worked in a kitchen.
Was it like freaky going in there?
No, it's like
No?
riding a bike.
Yeah. Well, really?
It's like riding a bike.
That would be.
Really rickety.
Yeah, the bike with
Yeah,
the spokes
you know,
are
he
gone.
pops
Yeah, exactly. Your shoelace gets caught in the pedal.
And I'm saying
one of
that
those.
from my point of view.
That's
not from-
hilarious.
But, yeah, it's a collaborative effort.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Joel's actually very big influence on the menu.
Okay.
Well, it's fun.
The world
too,
traveler for
because
spin cars. So,
Yeah.
World traveler, yeah.
he's been at
It's
19 of the 20 best restaurants in the world.
Yeah.
So, he's
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
fun too because we come up with like kind of like a general idea, which is usually Joel has this
Yeah.
general idea, this general flavor profile, and then like Darius adds a little bit of, Southern, a little bit of
Nedro.
We got you
a
going.
little bit of Nedro, a little bit of, just a little, just
I gotta get 3 more
that
of
thing
these.
to bump it up a little notch. And then it's usually me. I have kind of like the soft little
She's the decorator
finishing
of us all.
touch.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the kind of last
little
little.
tiny,
Yep.
Just this little bit of space
Yeah.
here, this little bit of freshness here.
Yeah.
So it's.
It truly is.
It's
It's
really
truly
cool.
a collaboration between all of us, and like we're working now, because kind of the vision of the restaurant itself is we want to be a seasonal restaurant, so
Yeah.
changing the menu every single season, and
No,
making
we
sure
are a
that we're
seasonal
using,
restaurant.
Yeah.
using all of those seasonal products. So
Yeah.
we're working on the new menu to come out in October, hopefully. For the fall menu. And,
That's cool.
Yeah, gonna go from there. So.
And it's crazy because we're just always bouncing ideas off each other. Like Darius is always sending us stuff like, oh, check this
Yeah.
recipe out,
That's
check
cool.
this out, check out what I found here.
Yeah.
And then Joel and I will be sitting at home and be like, oh, that's really cool. Let's try it. Maybe we should do this. Maybe we would do that. We didn't even mention we have another OCS alum that's our baker.
Right,
for our
yeah,
desserts.
pastry chef.
I forgot all. Sorry, Cassidy.
So our desserts are all made
My bad.
in-house too.
Forgot to tell you
by
that we did a
another
podcast
girl, by another person that we grew up with, went to
That's
school
awesome.
with, and that again was an organic
Yeah.
thing. Like she would do Sunday dinners, which is actually how
That's
we
cool.
got Darius on board with going to Sunday dinners, and she would make her desserts, and they were just
Yeah.
out of
They're
this
phenomenal.
world.
That's cool.
Yeah, and we
And
were
I'm
like, man, we could use these.
I want
Yeah.
these at
You know?
the restaurant. Like if you're down,
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
So what was it like when you purchased the restaurant to the transition to then you're the official owners? I mean, what was that transition like? Was it like close on Friday, open on Monday, and you're the new owners?
We never closed.
Wow.
So yeah, we never closed. The transition was a learning experience for
Yeah.
me, anyway, because I had been running it the way that the previous owner
Yeah.
had been running it, and
Now you get to call the
that's just
shots.
that just wasn't working.
It's different
for
being a
us.
business owner and
Sure.
running the place.
Yeah.
I mean, he
because
had
you
me.
go and you're used to doing your normal job.
Yeah.
But then you layer on top of that, okay, we got to have food costs. We got to
Yeah.
be doing this. We got to be doing that. And it's definitely there's a learning curve there.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's a learning curve for me because I've obviously never worked in a restaurant. So it's been very eye opening. I watch a ton of Food Network, right?
Yeah, right.
And I watch all these shows of people who are successful, people who aren't.
Yeah.
And I knew going into it.
Yeah.
There's going to be ups and downs.
Yeah, for sure.
But people don't really know, like, what it really is in
Yeah.
the back and the
Yeah.
kind of mindset that you're going through every single day
Yeah.
until you're really in it.
Yeah, for sure.
Like everybody's like, I can cook
Kind
great
of why
food.
we're drinking whiskey.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's kind of, but
really, yeah,
it's
for
kind
sure.
of like it. Like
Yeah, it's been a rough year.
everybody who's a good cook, everybody who cooks food, and people are like, yeah, I really like that. Man, you should open your own place. It's
Yeah.
fantastic. That's a wonderful idea.
Yeah.
No, Joe's
Listen.
place would fail.
Yeah.
It would taste wonderful, but
Right.
It's not cool, man.
Yeah.
What?
Listen, that's why I
We're gonna
started.
talk after this.
we might not be talking after this.
Depends on how much more we drink.
Yeah, exactly.
It's one of the reasons why I we are still doing our thing because in the early days there was a restaurant that I met with who that was just that. She was like a mortgage broker or something, and people told her she made the best whatever. You should open up your own restaurant. You make the best. Da 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 da.
Yep.
And so one day she decided to quit her job.
I'm gonna do it.
Mortgage her house, pull out her 401k, and open up this restaurant in the worst location, with zero idea of about how to do anything, and all that. She was a great home cook who made a great tasting whatever, and now all of a sudden she has this restaurant. And within 6 months, it was failing, and it was also susceptible to. The Clipper magazine people coming in and, hey, we're going to charge you way too much money
Right.
to do this. Oh,
everybody,
okay, great.
Everybody, when you first get started, everything sounds like a great idea.
Right.
You know, and you're like, well, we should definitely do that, or we should definitely do this,
Yeah.
you know, and all of a sudden what people don't understand is when you're running the business, obviously you want to keep it as kind of close
Right.
to the vest as possible. And if you invest in all of those, which all of those are really great
Right.
ideas, but you really have to like sit down and look at your numbers and figure out what's the best move for you.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, and you sign on for all of them, you're
Right.
going out of business.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Yeah. I could not imagine, and not to make it really real because we've been drinking it super early. When keeping it real goes wrong, that's gonna be that needs to pop up on the screen right now. But I could not imagine having a fucking like an actual business restaurant like that. I could not imagine that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm starting the coffee company, which is like a little bit more risk than Eat Local New York
Right.
was. That was an Instagram account for like
Right.
2 years.
Yeah.
You know, now I have to like buy product and shit like that, but it's still no risk.
Right.
Like if that coffee company bombs when we open it, if like my mom buys a bag
you
of
gonna
coffee,
lose?
exactly, like
Right.
a couple
What are you gonna
$100.
And the restaurant business, obviously, that's you're jumping in a bigger pool of water.
Right.
You know, and it's...
And I
risk.
don't say that to like scare the shit out of you before
No.
you go golf.
Yeah,
But I say,
Yeah, there's nothing you can
can't
say
scare
right now
us
Right.
that
now.
is going to scare her more than she... than,
but I do say that out of like a respect. Like I cannot imagine like I just think it's really admirable to like take that big of a risk
Appreciate
in
that.
life. Yeah, it's really, really something else.
Those are usually the people that succeed, though.
Yeah, for sure, man.
right.
Yeah.
People who take risks.
Yeah,
You know what I
without a
mean?
doubt.
Like,
And the thing
I
is, we know we have the right people in
Yeah.
the right places. Like, and we're all fighting for the same cause. Like, we're not a restaurant where we're going through servers or
Yeah,
going
that's
through
cool.
back of the house. You know, like
Yeah.
we're all in this for each other because
great.
we know, the only way one of us is going to make it is if we all make it.
Yeah.
Right.
At this point, it's not, in no offense, we're not like, we don't have college kids or seasonal
Right.
help. Like our servers,
Yeah.
our
Right.
front of the house staff, this is their career. This
Yeah.
isn't their job. This isn't getting them somewhere else.
And
Right.
the person who's serving
what
you,
they're
you're
doing.
going to
Yeah.
see
and
familiar
they believe
faces.
in what they're doing, and
Yeah.
they love what they're doing, and they're good at what they're doing.
Dude, people that have been in the industry, serving, cooking, whatever, for years, I mean, you can't just put anybody into those roles
No.
and expect them to be great at it. Like
Well,
those,
and the type of food that we have. I mean, honestly, we're a higher end
Yeah.
food establishment, and
But
again,
casual at the same time.
it's a casual higher end.
Yeah.
I mean, you get a good meal where you can go have date night. But you
Right.
can also bring. We have downstairs where you can have 10, 12 people, whatever it
Yeah.
may be, or
I mean, you can show up in a formal
But yeah,
dress,
you
or
can show up in
Right.
a
your
t-shirt.
gym
You can show
clothes.
up in a
Like,
t-shirt
it's-
and eat. But the fact of the matter is we want to make sure that the experience that you're getting
right.
is top of the line.
Yeah.
Regardless, it's not somebody who doesn't know the menu, who just started, or whatever it may be, or me
Yeah.
bumbling around out there.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I do like that about the modern day world of food is that really at the end of the day it's just about the money. And so like
Right.
like when we went to we've been to St. Urban once, and when we went there for dinner, like I was a little nervous and I was like, all right, I better put on my nice jeans, and put on the button up that looks nicer but it's too tight, right? That sort of shit. And
This is my third
Kinda
choice
like
today.
mine
So,
today.
But then we sat next to like a couple that was like wearing a suit and tie and like a nice dress. And then we sat next to a couple that were wearing like hoodies and like college
Yeah.
kids in a hoodie and
100%.
jeans.
Come as you are. Like,
Right.
it's, our food makes us, not.
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure.
I love the restaurant. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But our food is what it's about. And the precision that Darius
Yeah.
puts the food out, the love that he puts into it, and, just the pride in it.
Yeah.
That's all we need. I've worked for chefs that they're classically trained, blah blah blah, like all that wonderful,
Yeah.
amazing stuff.
Bunch of titles.
But if you don't believe in what you're doing, or if you're just
Yeah.
going through the motions, it's different, and that's why Darius is so great, and
Yeah.
I started at the Pita Pit, by the way.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah,
Nice.
there we go. Pita Pit.
But you taste it. You taste it in the food. You taste.
Yeah.
All of us working together,
Right, and I think that's kind of
and playing our parts. You taste that in the food,
but you get that in the service too, because what I think we do best is work together through all of this.
Yeah.
Right, putting the menu together, everybody tasting it, everybody having an idea of what it is, and everybody knowing what has gone into that.
Yeah,
it's not just kind of big chain restaurant where it's just a menu. Here's a new menu, go out and serve it.
Yeah,
right. It's everybody literally collaborating together.
Yeah.
So that experience from front to back and back to front is the top of the line that you're going to get, because like when the servers come out and they're serving the food and they ask, the customer asks a question about the food, they know about it, they know what's gone into it. So there's a certain type of pride in all of that. Like,
for sure.
That's fantastic. And, going into what we actually put into that.
Yeah.
Because like just small example, like all of our sauces, we don't get anything out of a bag.
Everything's made in house.
Everything's made in house. Everything we do, right? Yeah, aioli's on our burgers and everything. Everything's homemade.
Some ingredients, make it.
We make sure that we're when somebody's tasting something, they're tasting us.
All right, so
no, we'll scratch that one too. I don't know.
Like, another thing that we haven't hit on is our general manager is also
our essence. Yeah, scratch that one too.
Our general manager is also our farmer.
Yeah,
like
that's cool.
She provides us with fresh produce.
Yep.
So, it's
All right, so how do you separate yourselves from the others in Syracuse that are also local, that are also working with local ingredients, that are making their own stuff from scratch? Like, just walk me through that in your like day-to-day thinking. Like, what's your thought in, all right, how are we going to get the customer to come from Armory down to us or from Fayetteville down to us?
Well, right now, we're using a lot of, social media, obviously, kind of free advertising.
For sure.
The more we can do that way. But a lot of honestly, we've gotten a lot of reviews from that. A lot of people that came in and said, hey, man, I saw the picture of, what you guys got. I needed to try this, that kind of thing.
I'll say, like, you're one of the few that I don't ever research anybody before an episode or anything. Last night, I did just a quick Google search, mainly because I was trying to figure out what your name was. And I'd say half the guests I've had, I've never met before in my life. So, but most of them, who am I talking to on Instagram? But I didn't do that with you. So thanks, Robert. No, I'm just kidding.
It's Alex. Thanks.
But when I Googled all of the consistent, Facebook, all the things that first popped up were the review sites, and all of them were in 4 stars. And it wasn't 1 or 2 reviews. It was 90 reviews. And it was Kayak and TripAdvisor, all of them had big reviews.
Awesome.
Well, and I think the other thing that separates us from, what you said, is we keep it simple.
Yeah.
Right.
We let the food speak for itself. We'll get fancy words on the menu, but
simple food, high quality ingredients.
Exactly.
It's all about the ingredients, right?
Simple food. We're not
putting them together in the right.
Yeah.
The right
We're not
manner.
trying to confuse you.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
We just want you to eat it
and the other thing that people get, and again, we hang our hat on being a place that anybody can show up, but you're going to get a fantastic meal.
Yeah.
We're going to keep it simple.
Yeah.
We're going to have great service.
And great music.
Great music. She just keeps adding on. So
I have lots of things.
Yeah. Oh, nice. She came into this I don't want to talk at all.
Right. That's
She's like, I know.
I started to say that 20 minutes ago.
I've thought about that quite a few times.
I'm just going to be quiet over there. You just go ahead, Joel. And I'm just go ahead. Yeah.
I always thought about it. I was like, you guys should switch seats.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about that later too, Natalie. Yeah. All right, my turn.
Yeah.
No, but my idea of food is when you use great ingredients, and just put them together in the right manner.
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
you don't have to come out with all these bells and whistles and you know, all this stuff. We plate the food so it's beautiful, but you also are not going to. You're not going to come to our restaurant and show up hungry and leave hungry,
for sure.
Right? You're going to get a good portion of some great food.
Yeah.
What's the most important ingredient, though, Joel?
Love.
There you go.
Damn right.
I think it's Nedro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Nedro. Nedro for
That's a big
life.
part.
That's where we are.
Yeah, that's awesome. I do know some people who love food that still suck at cooking, though. I will say that.
Yeah.
Love is important unless you suck.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So I've been to some restaurants.
It's important when you
Yeah. Okay. Well,
When
just
you-
turn her mic off, please.
probably a good idea.
That's too much drink.
Yeah. Man, I haven't had this much fun in a podcast in a long time. I gotta say that. Yeah.
We'll be back next week.
Yeah, just replenish.
Yeah. You got to fill those bottles up.
Yeah. My wife's gonna ask what I'm doing at 8:30 in the morning. I'm going to drink. With
Yeah.
her.
Going to drink with the people from 317. That's great.
I was saying that it's kind of poor timing because I've never scheduled 4 episodes in one day.
Oh, wow.
And
You got
that's
busy
I
day.
have 4.
Yeah,
to
that's right.
have
Well,
3.
he's got to cook some phenomenal food.
Yeah,
after this.
yeah.
I have a golf tournament that I have to be at.
Yeah, but
a
you
little
kind of
bit,
think
too.
like that's the prerequisite for a golf tournament is to start drinking at 8:30 in the morning.
This is
Especially
going
if
to
you're
make me
really
poop. That's
bad
what
at
Especially if it's
golf.
going to make you poop. Yeah. Oh God. Well, we didn't really talk about many of the things that I wanted to talk about. But I had
always come back.
I know, but I had a great time. And oddly enough, it's already been 50 minutes.
I
It
know.
feels like it's been
I know,
like
I just
15.
looked at the clock like, dang,
Yeah.
I thought we just started.
All right. Well, before we sign off, tell everybody where they can find the restaurant, where they can find you online.
It's really easy. So our restaurant is 317 at Montgomery, which also happens to be our address. So,
You guys are on Instagram and Facebook.
On
and-
Instagram, Facebook.
Facebook's
Not on
the
Twitter
best.
yet. I don't know.
Don't get on
Facebook's
I'm not
the
a big
best
Twitter
way
guy.
to like find
Yeah.
new things and,
Yeah.
and what's going on and what we're doing. You could always call us or
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
No, just stop in.
Yeah.
Stop in.
Stop in.
All right.
And
Darius will treat you right.
we're working on a lunch menu, so we may
Nice.
be open for lunches here.
Hopefully in the next month or so.
Within
That's
the,
cool.
Yeah, within the next month. So
Yeah.
be on the lookout for that. But I'm always trying to update social media as
Yeah.
much as I can with new food pictures, new ideas, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, just kind of what we're thinking and getting the word out there. So,
Keep doing the videos.
yeah, you know what?
He's
I
good
was
at
just
those.
thinking about that. I did the one
Yeah.
right when we opened back up,
Right.
and everybody, it seemed to go pretty
Yeah.
well. But
You
I had
mentioned-
the mustache just like you,
Right.
right there.
I just shaved this yesterday. Yeah.
El Chapo.
Yeah, El
Yeah.
Chapo. Yeah, I did.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
I just want to say for all restaurants, like we're all operating at 50%. We're all
Yeah.
short on staff. Be patient.
Yeah.
Enjoy your time.
Right.
Yeah.
We're
People
kind of programmed to expect
Yeah.
food at a certain
Right.
in a certain time frame, and sometimes it's just not doable. But
Yeah.
Yep.
we'd rather put it out well than
Yeah.
put it out fast.
Right.
So just bear with us. We're all kind of treading the water right,
Right.
now. So.
And I'd
People-
say
And that's
have
for
been-
every restaurant.
And
Not
Yeah.
just
yeah,
for us, for
people have
everyone.
been stuck inside for a long time.
Right.
Go out and enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Sit down, relax, have a glass of wine,
I'll
have a
keep
beer,
your-
whatever.
Yeah.
I'll come
We'll
out, sit
keep
down, and
your
yuck it up
glasses
with you.
full.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Well, we want to make sure that you're having a great time and being able to enjoy your time out of the house.
Right.
Right.
And I will also add to that, like, even though quarantine is done, like, COVID is still not over.
Right.
Exactly.
And, if anything, if you're going, like, during quarantine, we would, like, when we were doing takeout, we would get a bottle of wine just because we wanted to add more onto the ticket for the restaurant.
Right.
It's still in effect. Like, still do that.
Yeah.
And I will say for yourselves and for other restaurant owners listening, raise your prices, please. The industry has not raised.
all right.
Yeah. All right. You hear
Seriously.
that, internet?
The restaurant industry has not, like, restaurants have not raised their prices in the last few years.
And still only at 50% too. You know
Right.
what I mean,
Well,
so
and,
it's even.
and the prices of our products.
Yeah,
like
right.
the products.
Yes,
that we're
exactly.
Buying to make.
Costs have gone up, and restaurants have not raised their menu prices accordingly. And the issue with that is, like, now people are like kind of playing a little bit of a price game. But 3 Lives just opened up. Love them to death. Everybody should go there.
Is that the arcade?
Yeah.
I ate
you
there
mean
a few weeks ago.
317? Everyone should go.
Yeah. No, actually, they had the DeLorean out there too.
Yes,
3
exactly.
nights ago.
Because they can't have the arcade games
Or
on.
not, 3 weeks ago. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody should go to 317.
Yes.
But
should.
And
having
then
said that,
afterward.
Yeah.
the thing I love about 3 Lives is they're open till midnight. And so like this past week I've been here working until like 10, getting the cards out.
It was right across the street.
And I can go there and get a beer late at night.
Right.
So that's amazing. I love that. But they are charging, they're not charging too much. They're charging appropriately, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
If you're used to going
Well, they
to...
have. What kind of? I don't.
They actually have
I don't know what
a
type
very
of fare
good
they
burger.
have.
Yeah,
It's like burgers
it's
and
gourmet fast food.
Okay, I gotcha.
It's Smash Burgers. He's got a
Yep.
chicken sandwich. He's
That's
got...
great. I could use one of those right now after this whiskey.
Yeah, he's got like gourmet hot dogs. He's making his own sausage. He's doing a lot.
Yeah.
Zach is a great
That's
great
awesome.
chef.
That's awesome.
But my only thing in saying that is raise your prices.
Well, if we get
Oh, thank you.
People can
back
afford
on
it.
that,
Here, folks.
yeah,
You heard it
if we
here.
get yelled at a
Here.
bunch,
Right.
that's the guy right
Yeah,
there.
exactly. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for drinking with me this morning. I appreciate it.
Thanks for the shots. Thanks for having us on.
Thanks
man.
so much, man.
Yeah, we would have brought our own bottle.
Yeah.